Hi, my name's Kerry Saint. I'm an adoptee and I live here in Australia. I was adopted in 1962 under the policies and procedures of former forced adoptions. We had a Senate inquiry and illegal and unethical practices were found to have occurred to estimatedly over 250,000 mothers and children. Now, at present, there's a lot of adoptees really angry about what's happening in this country at this present time. How there's a call to remove children from Aboriginal families and let non-Indigenous Australians adopt them. Now, we were told in our Senate apology and federal apology, I should say, and our state apologies that forced adoption would never happen again in this country. It was promised to us because we recounted stories not just from the mothers of being threatened, coerced and drugged and tied to beds and held in slave labour in laundry facilities and girls' homes. Stories were heard of adoptees who had suffered horrendous abuse at the hands of adoptive parents, and I am one of them, along with my 3 other siblings. Though I'm not biologically related to them, my brothers and sisters who were adopted with me suffered abuse at the hands of both our adoptive parents. Now, I'm not going to go into the years and years of trauma that I've suffered because of it. It was well documented in the Senate inquiry, but I've suffered. And I met many other adoptees who suffered as well because there was little or no screening of adoptive parents. Once you adopted a child, you were never heard of again. Now, we've been trying to change that in this country. We've been trying to change how adoption is even processed, how kids are even seen through the child safety and foster care and how the checks should be done there and to keep kids safe. But what we've been telling our government is that it's the family that should be the priority. The biological family of this child must be the priority. We have New South Wales paying $42,000 for NGOs to procure a child for adoption. Why is that money not spent in helping families stay together? Seriously? Like, if you offered the same NGOs the same amount of money to make families work, what do you think would be happening? People are jumping up and down. The public have no concept of what adoption does to a person and to the parents that have their child taken. Absolutely no idea, because the media have effectively put a wall up to us telling our stories. Thank you, Channel 7, for, the only story that you want to point out is a man looking for his biological mother and father, and he states he had a really wonderful adoptive parents, and he most likely did, but he's still traumatised. He is still suffering from being separated from his biological family. If that doesn't tell you that adoption has huge problems, nothing will. Channel 7 and every other media that fails, except for Channel 10, because they were brave enough to cover my story and my story of abuse when the federal apology occurred. Good on you. But what occurred that day when Simon Crean just devastated our federal apology to see Julia Gillard ousted, the very Prime Minister giving us our apology, to see her ousted on the day and to have journalists pulled off our stories and told, oh, go cover this other more important story. Our apology was historical. It was in the same ballpark as the Forgotten Strains and Stolen Generation. Yet, very little is being told. Like, I've contacted places, Insight, other ABC stations and, Channel 9, and they just don't want to cover the story. What's the go, guys? What? Is there a conspiracy to keep adoption on the table and hide the historical, horrific truth of what happens to children in supposed good care? Now, I'm outraged, along with the thousands of other adoptees in this country that never got an apology for being abused by their adoptive parents. We've been excluded from every inquiry and every royal commission, and we'd like to understand why. What the hell is going on that they exclude us entirely? What are they covering up? And if the media don't catch on to that, there is something wrong with you. Seriously? 250,000 plus non-Indigenous children stolen and illegally taken in this country, and you don't want to cover the story? So, be prepared, Australian public. Adoptees have had enough. They're sick and tired of the garbage that is being told to you, and told to the public about what adoption really is. So stay tuned, because I'm going to keep this up, and I'm going to tell my story in full detail in time to come. But I want everybody to know that adoptees are serious about changing your perception of adoption. Thank you.